If you feel like you're still struggling to connect with a purpose, or you might even say a calling, and you know what, all of us are in that boat some way or another, even when we are really on our path in whatever way that feels like a fresh and strong way. But here's the thing, the ways that we are conditioned actually show us our calling. Or you might say our pain shows us our purpose. I'm going to be talking about that, plus the new earth paradigm and how you can step into your power, all on this episode of Charmed Life. So stay tuned. Hello, and welcome to the Charmed Life podcast. This podcast is all about magic, metaphysics, mysticism, and the unconditional love of the universe. And I am your host. My name is Tricia Carr. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this episode. It is so nice to be here with you. And I am actually going to start this episode out by pulling a card and a rune, because I just kind of struck. I asked Spirit, what should we do to kick this off? And that's what came to me. So I'm featuring this deck that this lovely person is going to be on my podcast in a couple of weeks, I believe. Shannon Kaiser. And I'm showing this to the camera. Oh, it's got glare on it. That's my light. Anyway, a lot of people are listening to this. So this is called Guidance from Gaia Oracle. And it's packed with spirit animal messages. And I got to tell you, the guidebook is amazing. So I've been working with these cards a little bit for about, I don't know, a couple of months that I've had them. And they sent this to me so that I could get to know the beautiful work before Shannon came on. So I worked with them enough to tell you I think they're really beautiful and I recommend them. And of course, you could wait until the podcast comes out and hear about it from Shannon herself. So I'm going to pull a card from this deck, and this is going to be something that I would say, obviously, we could all be connecting on collectively, and it's more about personal development, spiritual development. We're collectively calling in this energy because anyone at any time that you're listening to this, whether you're here live or you're watching or listening in the replay, Spirit is just that clever. Spirit is not contained by time or space. And so we will all come together on this intention. So we'll call this one the one that's spiritual and personal, and even as well as obviously collective. And then for the runes, I was going to draw a rune instead of cast them. I guess I could cast them over here on the side. Well, maybe I will do that. Anyway, the runes we will let be about cycles. Now, this could be your personal cycles and, you know, what is wherever you are in your life cycles, or even the smaller, more concentric cycles of just, life stuff, as well as the collective. And so it might be a bit more about nature and the weather of the cosmos as well as the weather of nature. So that's what we'll call that. Before I do that, I want to mention again, this is live on YouTube, Facebook, X, maybe some other platforms. So we are doing these live podcasts Monday, Wednesday, and Friday now at 1 p.m. Pacific. And so we have some folks here live. I want to say hello to Linda. Oh, it's so lovely to see you. Hi, Linda. Hi, Alana. Oh, wonderful. You're here again from Australia. I love it. And Jennifer is here. Thank you, Jennifer, for joining us. Those of you, I see there's quite a few people on the live feed. So if you want to say hello where you are watching from, listening from, and, if you have any questions or comments, love to hear from you. And then let's get into this card pull and reading. So you might hear me shuffling this. And you can set an intention for this right now, something that you would like, some insight, some guidance, some clarity, some support, encouragement, inspiration. And I'm kind of just talking until the card reveals itself, and it is right now. Okay. 2 actually came out, so we're going to be looking at 2. And that's the cards. Now I'm going to go ahead and, I think I will cast a rune. So while I'm setting up my area to cast the runes, if you're not familiar with runes, I love, love, love runes. It's spelled R-U-N-E. And runes are about 1,000 years older than the tarot, actually. And there are 24. I have these on, they're burnt, they're etched on wood chips. and they have their, it's an alphabet, if you will, in a manner of speaking, although it's not an alphabet that spells words. They're all symbols, you know. And so we are going to we're going to let that rune show itself to us in a cast. So you could either draw them, but more traditionally you cast them. So I'm going to cast them here. I usually cast them in a bigger lot than this, but we'll see. That's the big loud noise of casting. So now I'm just going to clear my mind, drop into my body. And what I do and what I love to teach people is to draw in that pillar of light. Imagine, visualize, or sense it coming down through your entire person. You could do this with me as you're listening or watching, because we're all pulling this rune together. And then I let that light fill me up, and then I let that light come through my non-dominant hand. And then I usually do without looking, either closing my eyes or looking away. And sometimes when I'm doing that, I get a sense of where on the pile, on the cast, that I might be reaching, and sometimes my hand just goes there without that. Okay, it's so funny. This one rune that I pulled, and it came face up. It's been stalking me lately. Oh, Michelle, hi, my love. Oh, that's my dear friend Michelle Vazel. Michelle's been on the podcast before. Okay, everyone, here is our first card. It's the one underneath, and it is Guidance of the Snake. And the number on it is 26, and it says, I shed the layers of my ego to make room for the new me that is emerging. I accept transformation. Ooh, I got chills. So I'm going to show the image of this, all of the beautiful colors. There's a lot of Archangel Sandalphon in the colors here. Let me get closer so you can see it. So describing it to people, it's hard to see the snake. Hold on, let me get him closer. Okay, there, you can kind of see him. It's like not focusing on him because it has other things in the shot. Anyway, beautiful snake, so many colors, a lot of mauve colors or mauve colors in this image, as well as some nice tomato red. And it's the mauve colors. I don't know which way I want to say that word. I came up calling it mauve, but then it sounds very fancy in French to say mauve. Anyway, the mauve colors call in Sandalphon for my heart. And I love that because Archangel Sandalphon is such a beautiful, gentle, and potent archangel who is anchoring us in the vertical plane and in the earth. So Sandalphon and Metatron are brother archangels, and it's like Metatron above me and Sandalphon below me as they anchor and activate us on the vertical plane. And so this that's what I'm pulling in as the angelic energy coming through here. And I love this guidance from the snake. I accept transformation, because transformation is change. And that is something that our ego, as this says, I shed my ego, it is a very primitive response, a very foundational response to be afraid of change. And yet we desire transformation. So being able to navigate that paradox, and that's what snake is teaching us. So we got 2 cards, even though I called for 1. So, I should look at the number. As I said, it's 26. The 2 is the energy for source and creation, or creator and creation. It's also the love number. It's about resonance. It's about 2 becoming 1, because 1 and 1 make 2. And then it's also 6, which 6 is a visionary number. It's domesticity. And it has a sense of planning for abundance, with that visionary quality. And together they make 8. And 8, a lot of people call the money number. It is a number of momentum. And so the momentum of transformation. And I think we really are in those times right now collectively. And so we might be feeling them personally. And then our second card is Guidance of the Lion. I consciously use my power, drawing from my inner sun. And we have a beautiful light blonde lion, a male lion. Oh, he's so gorgeous. He reminds me of my what would he be? My dog nephew, who passed away in July, my sister-in-law's doggy. And his name was Bear, but he looked, he had this light golden blonde lab coat. And so lion here with his majesty, and he looks very peaceful too. And there are some lovely flowers around him, these images, and there's a golden kind of foliage around him too. So beautiful. And so the lion with his regality, his calm, his peace, and his vision, his sight, his looking out on the plains, and using that inner power, which we're actually going to talk about today. It's going to be in our third segment. So we have the 2 again, and then we have the 9. And the 9 energy is humanitarian, it's sensitivity, it is the grand harvest. Together they make 11 or 2. So that is our personal. So these are to help us personally in our spiritual and personal development. And then our rune for the nature, the weather, the collective, as well as how we're going to be experiencing it, is called Hagalaz. And it looks like an H etched into my wood piece here. And Hagalaz, I laugh because I just had a funny story with Hagalaz, which I won't tell right now. Maybe I'll tell another time. But anyway, people who are in the class are probably laughing along with me. And Hagalaz actually means hail. And I yeah, that's right. They were reminding me. I pulled Hagalaz for myself today. I pulled 5 runes, and Hagalaz was, I think, the very first one, or maybe that was the second one. But it isn't all negative. You might be considered negative because, especially in the etymology of runes, hail was, it's a destructive force, destroys crops, makes it impossible to travel or to forage. But then look at the positivity that is coming from hail. Hail is obviously frozen water. The element of water is emotion. And when I see frozen water, when I see ice reminds me of trauma. Because what trauma is when we have an experience, a sensorial experience, emotional and sensory experience, it gets stored in our soma, or in our nervous system, and in our psyche. All these things that are all overlap. It gets stored because it can't be processed all at that time. So it gets stored so that it can be processed at a later date. And it is the warmth of awareness, the warmth of light and awareness. The resource, when it is available, is able to melt that ice, melt that crystallization of that package of sensory and emotional energy that is being stored. So that's what trauma is, kind of like ice stored. And then think about this ice. It is happening because of the condensation in the clouds, and there's a sudden shift in the temperature. So now it's calling in the element of air and the element of fire, and the pressure of that shift and change, and the pressure from the air, which is thought, the mental, the intelligence, throwing it out of the sky and saying enough is enough, pelting it onto the earth, and the earth being like shifted and changed and dusting up new things. Because see, when there's a hailstorm, it offers the earth a calibration, a really powerful transformation, transformative transformation. And so hailstorms can be a precursor for something very powerful to create clarity. So it's not, in my view, it doesn't have to be a negative. It might be a tumultuous or turbulent moment. And that's where we are collectively, ain't we? Isn't there a lot of turmoil going on right now? Sometimes you gotta laugh. Gotta laugh at the pain. All right. Thank you, runes. Thank you, cards. I'm gonna move these aside now. See who else is here. Debbie's here. Hi, so nice to see you. And hello, Angela. Wonderful to see you all. Let's get into what we have to chat about today. And I'm going to just give us a little transition every now and again. So you'll either hear a chime or you'll hear and see an image and that's just a way for us to take a moment to breathe and reset, and also indicates that we're moving to a new section of the episode. Right, here we are now. We are talking about going from conditioning to calling, also going from pain to purpose. We actually have all very similar conditioning in a very basic way. And that conditioning is that we're wrong, that who we truly are is wrong. Now, there's no point in blaming anyone because this message is received regardless. It is the way that we find a path to become autonomous, to actually diverge from who we truly are, so that we can learn about all of the other actions that we're taking. And this is what karma actually is taking action from some place and then coming back to the place, to the set point, and having learned who we really are by learning who we aren't. So conditioning actually provides us a great context for us to step into who we are. And in that process, we also learn about others, and we can develop compassion both for ourselves and for others. So like I said, we all have a very basic kind of conditioning, and that is that we are wrong. How we are, what we naturally are meant to do, designed to do, is incorrect. And that is because when we are frightened as children, especially from the ages 0 to 8, but it keeps compounding after that, but particularly from 0 to 8, we don't have any way to make sense of the world. And so when we receive a shock or any kind of, we have a fear response, whether someone intended to do it or not, could have been the sound of thunder from the hailstorm. We have an unconscious belief that whatever I'm feeling or experiencing about who I am right now is wrong because the world is rejecting me or my caregiver is rejecting me. So we all get the message that we're wrong or incorrect. This is conditioning in its most basic form. And so that means, this is why I say conditioning actually points to your calling. Because the ways that we feel that we are wrong are actually pointing to the ways that we are right. We are truly who we truly are is what we're here to create from. And so it points to our calling. And that can also show up in other ways where we feel pain. And that could be from the sense of loss or chaos in our life. Because the loss and chaos is kind of bringing us back to this sense of somehow life is wrong and I am wrong. And those can actually, that's the chaos and the loss can actually trigger a spiritual awakening and bring you into alignment with your purpose. Because when those things happen, we are shaken out of our conditioning, or we are at least offered the opportunity to shake out of our conditioning. And the things that really matter they float to the top. And we're expanded in those moments. So take a moment to, first of all, for the conditioning to calling, to contemplate how you feel yourself in your heart for who you truly are. And even just that question, who am I? Or remember who you are. Saying that to yourself, letting your heart show you who you really are. I had Spirit give me that message several months ago, and I shared that message, just that, remember who you are, with a few people. And every person I shared that with, it was like they were stricken into their own home frequency too. They were like, ooh, it hit them the same way for them specifically, because the way that when I hear remember who you are from that vertical connection directly all the way up to the plane of my soul telling me that, I get a feeling, I get a felt sense, I get a resonance, and then eventually start showing up into different kinds of karma or actions, behaviors, things to do, but it still is coming back to the primary resonance, the quantum resonance with my soul. So remembering who you are, and it is typically the ways that maybe we feel rejected by others or the world, but primarily what it comes down to is how we are rejecting ourselves. Interesting way that we might see that is, I work with human design, and I noticed in my human design experiment as I'm contemplating different aspects of who I am and how I'm designed as is reflected in my human design chart. And I also see this in others, that sometimes when we kind of are presented with a new part of that human design chart, and we feel like annoyed or bummed or disappointed, or we actually feel in rejection of it. Like I'm a reflector. So when I first saw that reflector chart, the reflector chart has no defined centers. And the person who was showing it to me we looked at like 2 or 3 other charts, and they weren't reflectors. They had colored in energy centers, and she showed me mine and she goes, oh, you're a reflector. And I was like, what does that mean? I'm not even a person? Like I felt like, really, I felt rejected by it, by this information. Of course, I've grown to embrace it and understand how, oh my gosh, that is so actually showing me what I've always been and who I really and truly am. In addition to that, things like my conscious sun, which is like the your life purpose. It is the gate that shows you the theme of your life purpose, and that is called the gate of crisis. And I was like, well, that sounds like a big effing bummer. But I love it so much now. I understand what it is actually illuminating. It is the gift and the power and the design to, yeah, move through crisis and come out human and compassionate. And I love that so much. And so part of what I recognize I do is I hold the space for people to shatter patterns, which is, I guess, a part of the theme of this episode too, isn't it? So contemplating who you truly are, even just that question. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips to like good question prompts to bubble up how we can figure out what the conditioning is that is actually pointing to our calling. And here we go. 2 questions here. As you ask these questions of your own energy, I want you to take a breath and drop down into your body. We want to not listen to the mind, and that it's really the conscious mind, the ego mind. That is, in human design, it's called the passenger mind. The passenger is not supposed to be driving. And anytime that we're overthinking or we're overanalyzing, it's not actually giving us fresh new information. That is our intuition or our intuitive alignment. We want to drop down into our body. And even I know a lot of people listen to things like this while they're driving. So if you're driving, please be sure to stay alert and present with what you need to do or anything else that you need to do. If you're washing dishes, try not to cut yourself with glass or a knife. So you can multitask a little bit though as you drop down into your body. Take a breath. And from this place, here are a couple of questions, and we're going to start with, what am I most afraid of? Without judging it. And if nothing comes this time, that's fine. You could put it aside. Maybe we need a different space for it, a more expansive space for it. But whatever shows up, let it show itself to you and be curious about it. Now, the second question, we're going to set that aside. We're going to take a breath and drop into our body. What do I want to leave behind on this journey, this life's journey? What do I want to give or leave in this journey? Just notice what those are. Now, those are just tapping you into home frequency. Now, the what am I most afraid of can help us to tap into the things that are most valuable to us. Most valuable to us. So let's say if what I'm most afraid of is being rejected by anyone. Maybe it's your partner or your family or society, or being humiliated, let's say, something along those lines, or rejected. That means that the value of that is being revealed to you is that connection and love and safety in relationship and belonging is of value to you. And that means it's something you're here to provide. One of the times that I asked that question, what am I most afraid of? The answer came up that I'm not going to be able to provide for my animals. So if you don't know me, if we haven't met before, my animals are everything. I'm an animal communicator. They're just everything to me. Strong Gate 19 vibes, if you know human design. And I was like, ooh, when it came up, because I wasn't looking for it or expecting it. And I was like, oh my gosh. And by the way, that question and that answer came through probably 2 or 3 months before one of my beloved kitties passed away. He passed away of things that I couldn't control. I realized that I was in the pitch of that because his health was failing at the time. And by the way, the reason I'm mentioning this is because another part of this is that loss and chaos, that kind of pain can help us to connect with purpose. And so as this guy, his name's Barnabas, as my kitty Barnabas passed, that was loss. And he took with him some of that greatest fear that I have, because I couldn't take care of him. That was a cycle. That was an existential truth. And so he transmuted some of that for me. And so I did have a great healing and a mini awakening, or maybe a major awakening. I don't know how to count that, quantize that, from that loss. And So this is some of the work that we can do, observing how we might be most conditioned, recognizing that that conditioning is actually pointing to who we truly are, and that aligns us with whatever you might think of as a calling, your own calling, your soul calling you. And then, of course, how pain can lead to your purpose because it can help to transmute. And as you live through it, you become even stronger. Now we're going to talk about why all of this is so important to move from conditioning to calling, to move from pain to purpose, especially in the time that we are in. We are actually in a new earth paradigm. We really, really are. And it is only exponentially gaining speed and momentum. This is what we are all sensing probably as tension. And what we are sensing as the turbulence and the conflict. And we are really and truly in a new earth paradigm. Now, there are a few aspects of this that I want to highlight. And the reason that I'm talking about this in the context of how we want to move into more of who we truly are is because as we are moving into a new earth paradigm, the new earth is more of what it truly is. And so as we move into and the activation of who we truly are, we're going to find an easier, or let's say more aligned or more empowered resonance with the new earth. So the new earth paradigm, we are in it and we are moving really quickly even more into it. There is a prophecy in human design, the 2027 prophecy. Actually, well, what it is there's just actually a natural cosmological, astrological shift that occurs in 2027. I think it's February 18th. I know it's February of 2027 that we actually shift our background frequency. Our collective global incarnation cross, the background frequency shifts from one to the other. And it's been, oh gosh, I'm so terrible with time when I try to think of it off the top of my head. Since like 1781, I think it was. I don't know. That's when the projectors came in. That's when we discovered Uranus. Anyway, multi-100-year cycle that we are shifting into. So that's one. Now, the prophecy aspect of it is the interpretation of it. Like I said, again, there's just a shift that occurs, just an astrological, cosmological shift that occurs, and the interpretation of it would be the prophecy. But what this shift is moving us from is tribal to individuation. And you might go, well, tribes are great, and they are. And individuation is great, and it is, but everything has light and shadow. So from the tribal, we have taking care of one another. We would also maybe have that there are certain roles that are defined in the tribe. Now, the other thing on the shadow side, the tension that we have with the tribal awareness is that it's one tribe against another tribe. So there's competition. The other thing with the tribal awareness is that a shadow side of it is that, well, it doesn't matter what you feel like you're good at. You need to sacrifice that for the good of the tribe. You see how there could be positivity or negativity in that. And as we are shifting right now, we do seem to be enhancing the shadow aspect of it so we can find out what we learned from this paradigm before we shift to the new paradigm. But we are already in a new paradigm. And the individuation, you might think, oh, individuation, the individual, that sounds selfish. It could be, of course. But here's the thing, when we truly and deeply know ourselves, champion ourselves and who we truly are, then we can have clarity and compassion and also say, and you need to be who you are. It actually can foster on the light side of that a greater collective evolution. And that's what is occurring. Along with this, we have expanded spiritual awareness. There is a mass awakening occurring, and it seems to be just gaining more and more speed. And a lot of people feel as though they're having a spiritual awakening on their own. This is in alignment with that individuation of this new earth paradigm. And as you are, doing your awakening and your ascension and your healing and you're becoming more and behaving more from who you truly are, it's like your light is expanding, and then the person who is your, metaphoric neighbor who's also having a awakening, their light is expanding, and now the light is connecting, and then it's becoming, instead of points of light everywhere, it's becoming a blanket of light. Now, some people have been on their spiritual awakening for years, maybe, and you are more of way showers to those who are waking right now. and we all come together in light. So the thing is that those who are here to be way showers, you are also called to have deeper awakenings, more awakenings. We're never done having spiritual awakenings. And another part of this new earth paradigm that is absolutely imminent, which is actually the name of a book by someone who's a part of this conversation. What is imminent is contact with non-human intelligence. And this isn't just a woo-woo spiritual person. There are whistleblowers going before Congress. Luis Elizondo is one of them, and he has a book called Imminent. I believe that's what it's called, right? Anyway, and they're going and saying, yes, there are not only craft, there are non-human biological, material. Like it is here. ETs are here. Now, there's fear of that. Well, first of all, there's some obviously skepticism or denial of that, but it's not something that it's factual now. It's here. It's not something that is fantastical. However, the thing is, people are afraid of that, but we don't, of course, from a very pragmatic, practical sense, we don't have evidence yet of why these civilizations, these advanced, they're clearly more advanced because we're not going there, civilizations are coming here. We don't have direct evidence yet because we don't have full and open contact. However, we could infer that they aren't here to harm us. There's a lot of fear that they would be here to harm us. And I think we have fear of that because if you look at how maybe the Anunnaki came and created us as a hybrid race, that they were here to take some of our resources, but maybe they weren't as advanced, spiritually at least, as we are now, let alone as the non-human intelligence, I like to say extra dimensionals, because they're not really extraterrestrial considering they're here. They are here. That it seems that we could infer that they are here not because they want to harm us, but that potentially they are benevolent and want to help us because they could have already done harm. And that they may be working with how we can meet them as best way as we can. And we probably do need, I was going to say we probably do need some rescue. We certainly need help. Because there are things that are happening, with our climate crisis. We need some support. We need some help. And I don't know if we'll really be rescued from ourselves, but we could get a bit of a boost. So we still have to be in our own development. In order for us to ready ourselves to come into that alignment, we do need to, again, be more of who we truly are so that our vibration can be raised, so that we can be able to tolerate that kind of advanced communion. I think I'm going to talk more deeply about that specifically in the next episode, which is happening day after tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. At any rate, I just wanted to talk about the new earth paradigm that we are definitely in. And if you are feeling an urge even more than ever to be in alignment and to be on your purpose or your calling or whatever that is for you, there is a good reason why. It is the time for this to happen. It is the time for all of us to be in that alignment. And for all of us, in order for us to be able to share in a unified, more compassionate brother-sister alignment with our fellows, well, we have to have that internally first. We have to have that space for ourselves first. Well, we're in our third segment here. Let's talk about stepping into power, stepping into personal power. We're talking about, okay, first of all, the word power, I used to kind of shy away from it because it made me a little uncomfortable. And I think it also made me uncomfortable in the sense of like psychic powers, because I'm an intuitive, I'm a psychic, and psychic powers, I always heard it in the wrong context, I think, but it was probably about 6 months ago. I work with this one council of light called the Atlantis 7. And I channel them sometimes. There's a few episodes, both in the podcast and YouTube, where I'm channeling the Atlantis 7. And we're going to be working together again soon. I'll be channeling them, just so you know. At any rate, The Atlanta 7 told me, the only true power is love. That is the only true power. And yes, of course, there are powerful systems that victimize on our planet. But here's the thing. The person who is using power to harm another is because they are disempowered. A person who uses a gun or a weapon to get their way is because they feel they are too weak to get what they need or what would satisfy them the way that they could otherwise get it, just from who they are, from their character, from their intelligence, from their skills, from their love, from their heart. They don't feel strong enough in that, and so they use a brute force to disempower or even injure or victimize someone else. That is actually an act of weakness. It is not true power. The only true power is love. And so stepping into your power means to recognize and to continually be honest with yourself about how you are aligned with love, and then go for it. Then move through the fear, because you never are going to be completely 100% fearless. And that's okay. I mean, maybe you will, and congratulations. But here's the thing, you don't have to go for that. So then the correct use of will is being very honest with yourself, trusting and giving yourself the trust and awareness that you are aligned with love. And this means loving yourself first. And that means loving your flaws and loving your mistakes and letting yourself make amends and atonement with yourself and maybe with others as you are honest that what it is that I am resonating and how I want to move forward in action is in a clarity of a love frequency for myself and others. That if I am honest with myself, this decision, this choice, this action that I'm taking has the alignment with love. Even if I have some fear or uncertainty, that's fine. I am preferring love. And I can, again, honestly see that what I am moving forward to do does not harm anyone else, and it does not harm myself. Therefore, you can use your will to move through anything that feels like fear or a lack of confidence, then move through powerfully with will, and then trusting that, sure, there might be obstacles and challenges along the way. Those only make you stronger. And as you are moving in the powerful resonance of who you really are, which is the frequency of love, it feels like the frequency of love, it is the frequency of love, then your will is aligned. It is aligned with the will of the One. The will of the One is your heart moving in its direction as it is designed, with you being able to make beautiful art from your actions and your words and your work and your rest and your play, all of it. It is the life of an artistic way shower or an artistic journeyer, one who is here to be a loving beacon because they are lovingly shining from who they really are, from who you really are. I had this experience where I was helping, I actually think I told it in the last episode, I was helping a lost cat from a friend of mine and helping the cat to come home. Spoiler alert, the cat came home, but it was in the last episode. The point isn't about that story, even though it's really cool. The point is that I was pulling through this information, but I was still nervous. And I know I really wanted the outcome for my friend and for the safety of this kitty too. And so after I pulled through the information, I asked Spirit, I asked my team, am I objective? Am I clear? Which is another way of saying, am I fearless in this? And they told me no, but that doesn't mean you're wrong. Am I fearless? No, I've got some fear. But that doesn't mean I don't have a lot more love. In fact, I do have a lot more love, and it is my love that can move even though I have some fear. And it's very clear to me to say, oh, this is to be a service to myself and others. And that is where I am. And I'm okay with the fact that I'm flawed. I'm okay with the fact that I am not educated in everything. I'm okay with the fact that I'm in a process. That's life. That's the artist way. That is the journey. That is painting the picture or sewing the tapestry of your life. and being able to collaborate with others along the way. That is the correct use of willpower. And I'm saying that because there is an incorrect use of willpower. And that is actually almost like shaming or berating oneself into making something happen, or even operating from conditions that we believe will save us from ourselves. And then moving forward, we will potentially create an injury to ourselves, or maybe it's not sustainable. What comes to mind is, let's say, someone who is dieting and exercising really, really hard and going like, come on, dummy, you got to do this. Come on, like looking in the mirror and shaming yourself into because of what you see, and working for the condition of being a certain shape or size or whatever it is, and just like moving from that place. And then that's how we could become injured or sick, or, that's not the way to use willpower in order to become healthy and to become aligned with a body composition and a health that is in your highest benefit. And that's like, I love working with weight loss, by the way, because first of all, I've been through weight loss journeys a few times, and I approach it completely spiritually. What something like weight loss is body ascension. That means I love myself. The reason I am shifting and changing my habits is because I'm nurturing this gorgeous piece of earth. And that is so that I can be of greatest service. So that you see how that is a way to approach that endeavor, is from a space of love. And also another way that would be an incorrect use of willpower, or your will, is, well, I guess the clue is right there, because the only true power is love. So the incorrect use of willpower is to incorrectly use power, is to use power, what seems like power, from a place of weakness. Anyway, that would be that your actions are harming another. And harm doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to, break someone's legs, but you could hurt someone's feelings, or cause them to, a sense of betrayal, or perhaps leave someone holding the bag on something, take more than what you give, and leaving the lack of reciprocity. So I don't feel like giving an example on that. I think we can all imagine that, and just to highlight in that sometimes in a situation, it may seem like someone is hurt, but in fact, it's best for all of us. Like if someone's feelings are hurt, but in fact, we were already in a situation that was untruthful for both of us. And so that's why the superficial hurt feelings have to occur, so that we can move more powerfully. It's again, it's deeper and deeper honesty with ourselves, deeper and deeper honesty with ourselves. That's how we can align with true will power. Power being only the real power being love. Well, those are my subjects today. Ooh, we got a lot of people here. So I want to connect with you, whoever's live. You have any questions or comments or anything you want to share here? And while I'm waiting to see if we have anything to share, I want to just make a few invitations. And one is for the Modern Mystic community. There are links for all of this in the description, however you are listening or watching. And Modern Mystic is my subscription community that is really fantastic, because it's only $11 a month, and we do a live workshop and a live group meditation every month. And it's just amazing. It's really fantastic. So everything comes to you by SMS text. So it's really easy to be able to connect with us, and you don't have to log in anywhere. And we get to come together in a community, and I'm teaching something really, if I may say so myself, something really fantastic every workshop, or doing, reading and healings and questions, and it's just amazing. The community is amazing. So Modern Mystic, I invite you to. I also want to invite you to my fantastic course called Multidimensional Mediumship. And this is a full immersive course, and I deliver it live about once a year, and in the meantime, so when you actually sign up for the course, you have access to the content right away. And if you want to make it a live course right away, all you need to do is also sign up for the development circle, which I have, which is called Sacred Sphere. So then you can take the course at your own pace, which is amazing classes. I love PDFs. There are so many PDFs, meditations and hypnosis audios. Like, you can take the journey on your own, then come and practice and ask questions in Sacred Sphere. Then the next time I offer it live, you get access to the live version of it right away. So you actually kind of be ahead of it if you want to do that. So that's multidimensional mediumship. We talk about mediumship. I teach you mediumship for, connecting with past loved ones, past humans. But it's called multidimensional because we also connect with angels, we connect with the nature realm, and we connect with extra dimensionals, ETs. So it's really, really fantastic. I love it. I mean, that's how mediumship has always worked for me. So that's why I teach it that way. And also, I will be doing like a mediumship workshop throughout the year too. And if you've already purchased that and you're in that, registered for that within the year, you get to come to that for free. So it's like just fantastic. It's self-paced as well as all of these other great bonuses. Finally, easy intuition and meditation. And this is a 30-day journey to help you to connect with your intuition, to develop a meditation practice. And also there are aspects of it for your deconditioning, like learning about human design, because that is a part of being able to tap into your intuition. And it's, again, passive, but every 30 days you get, for 30 days you get a message, a new piece of content that opens up. It might be a lesson, it might be a meditation. And so it's this great accountability system that's really built into that. Anyway, those are the things I wanted to share with you. And let's see. So grateful to have been blessed to catch you online today. That's from Easy Rocks Godbox. Thank you. So nice to connect with you too. Oh, Jennifer says, anything our guides suggest for navigating this chaos now? It's been pretty rough. Okay, great. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'm listening. Because as Jennifer asked, what do our guides want to offer us? And so they say that we're being offered a really stark, is the word I want to say, opportunity to divest our energy from anything that is lowering our vibration or doesn't matter. And so here's the thing. We want to be informed. We want to know how to make choices, how to be supportive. So we have to take the information in until it is actionable, and then divest our awareness from that, because your awareness is your light. So divest your awareness from, there's a lot of things that we could have our energy or awareness tapping into that either doesn't matter, or it's actually maybe even lies or untruth or just junk. You know what I mean? Would you have your doors open all the time on your house? No, because you don't want dust and dirt and, buggies and rodents and everything to come in, right? So we need to be turning things off and divesting our energy more and more. And then with a conscious awareness, intentionally taking in information and discerning, being discerning about it. Is there action to be taken from this? Is this causing me to feel like a victim? Or is there too much blame in it? Is it a disempowering sense of blame and victimhood that is baked into this? How can I be of service? How can I help? How can I be a blessing? And if it's hard to find that, then turn it off and divest your energy of it. Now, there are certain things where there's pain happening. Y'all know I live in Los Angeles, and so there's this devastation that's occurring. It's affecting people who are very close to me, and so yesterday was it yesterday or day before? Yesterday, yeah, we had prayer for someone in our community who lost virtually everything in that devastation. So we took action on it. We are praying, we are donating, we are volunteering, we are voting, we are doing the things that we can. And remember that prayer or energy healing that we send out into the universe does work. So that might be the action that we take, and then we trust that is happening. We trust that action of love and healing is underway because of that. Was there something else? I feel like there was another thing, so I'm going to put up your question again, Jennifer. As I say, was there something else? I'm talking to Spirit. Was there another thing that you had for Jennifer's question? Is there anything our guides navigating this? Okay, so then just, yeah, again, honing in on the sense of discernment, and also recognizing that it always, love, nature, spirit, however you want to think about it, every time that we align with love, it makes the chaos make sense. It makes the chaos, it redeems it. You know, the sense of like, love makes even the wrong thing, the right thing to have happened when we connect with love. So coming back home to love, deep and true love, even as we may be grieving or expressing to ourselves our fear and our sadness and our pain, we definitely don't want to ignore or repress our feelings. Those are human, those are real. Holding space from the higher guidance perspective for you to be very present with all that you are experiencing and processing. And then, yes, divesting, using discernment to divest in that which is either it doesn't matter or it's just junk. Okay? I hope that helps. Jennifer said, yay. Okay, good. All right. Wow, this has been wonderful. Well, I think we will call this a jam for this time. Be sure to check the description for any of the ways that we can connect. I would love to have you in the communities. We have beautiful communities, and I'm there serving you directly. Just check out the website. I have so many courses that are on demand now, and always also announcing new ones. Oh, there is also a free gift. Of course, there's a free gift. There are 2 free gifts in the description. There's a free gift for a download for a higher self meditation. And there's also a free gift for an animal and nature mini course, like animal and nature intuitive mini course. And with those free gifts, then it signs you up for my newsletter, which is the way that you can stay on top of, well, when I'm doing this and any other announcements. And the other thing that's cool about being on my newsletter is that when I do something new, like a new course or something like that, or anything like that, where there is a discount or a special offer, I only usually announce that on my newsletter. Every now and again, I'll put it on social media, but I pretty much only put it on the newsletter because it's just easier. And I want to say thank you to the people who are on the newsletter. So, all right. Now, one more thing is, if you did catch the last episode, which was on Friday, and that was a 2025 energy forecast. And I said that I was going to transcribe it and also kind of break it down into the different sections. And so I have that still on my to-do. I think I might be able to get it done today. So you could either check back on that episode in the description and see if that's there. Again, you could sign up for a newsletter, and that'll be the best way to be in touch with, the details of everything that occurred in that. Okay, well, I guess that is it. I love you all so very much. I look forward to seeing you again on Wednesday. Wednesday is when I'll be up live again. And thanks for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are.